Hello, Angie Talks family. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. This is your 21st century virtualness. And when you call me 21st century virtualness, I will simply respond, hello, how are you doing? I hope you're all doing wonderful. Forget about my hair. This show is not about a beauty contest. Just let's focus on the content that we are talking about here. So a friend of mine asked a question. She says she sweats excessively even when she's not doing anything like any exercise or anything that will cause sweating, like walking or doing very vigorous activity, and it bothers her. So I said I talked to her about it, and then I decided to come live and talk, because since somebody is concerned about a condition, another person might also be having it. So let's talk about excessive sweating. In medical term, it's called hyperhidrosis. It's an abnormally excessive sweating that is not necessarily related to heat or exercise. When the sun is very hot and you are outside, you sweat. And then when you are exercising, going to the gym or walking, when you are doing any vigorous activity, you sweat. But hyperhidrosis, it's an abnormal sweating, excessive sweating that is not caused by either exercise or the weather, whether the heat from the weather. So you may sweat so much that it soaks through your clothes and drips on your hands. Some people's theirs is their hands. They sweat really bad, like they sweat a lot in their hands. It's embarrassing for them to even do handshake. And besides disrupting normal daily activities, this type of heavy sweating can cause social anxiety and embarrassment. Imagine if you go somewhere and your clothes is really soaked with sweat, and your hands and you are all dripping in sweat. It can cause anxiety and embarrassment when you go outside. And when it's also, the sweat can produce a stench, a smell too. The body's bacteria can just lunge on the sweat and produce a chemical that might cause body odor. So it can be very embarrassing. Hyperhidrosis treatment usually helps. There is a treatment for that. It begins with prescription strength antiperspirant. Sometimes that's what you need. You have to talk to the doctor to give you a prescription of antiperspirant. That's the first step. And then if the antiperspirant doesn't help, you may need to try different medications and therapies. You can go back and talk to your healthcare provider about different medications and therapies. In severe cases, sometimes it's so bad, your doctor may suggest surgery, either to remove the sweat glands or to disconnect the nerves responsible for the overproduction of the sweat. Sometimes your sweat glands has to be removed, or the nerves that are responsible for the overproduction of the sweat has to be removed. When it's so bad, that is the surgery. You have to go that route to remove and then reduce the condition. Sometimes an underlying cause may be found and treated. Sometimes the excessive sweat could be an underlying cause that, if found and treated, the condition will go away, will disappear. Most of us sweat when we exercise or exert ourselves. So when we are in a hot environment or anxious, sometimes when you are anxious, you produce sweat. or when you are under stress, you produce sweat, you sweat when you are stressed. That is normal, but the excessive sweat experienced with hyperhidrosis far exceeds such normal sweating. The normal sweat we sweat when we are under stress or when we are anxious or in a hot environment is totally different from the ones that I'm talking about here. That is the hyperhidrosis. When hyperhidrosis want to seek an immediate medical intervention or medical attention, if you are sweating heavily and it is accompanied by lightheadedness, when you feel dizzy, you have chest pain, or you feel nauseous, like throwing up, that's when it happens like that, you have to seek immediate medical intervention. But other than that, you also have to seek, or you have to see your doctor. When you sweat, your sweating disrupts your daily routine. Like I said, it leaves you with anxiety and social embarrassment. You can't do things that you're supposed to do on a daily basis because of the sweat. It bothers you a lot when you go out and join a social when you go out or to do something, you feel you become too conscious about of excessive sweating. And then when the sweating causes emotional distress or social withdrawal, you don't want to go out for a social gathering when you are just pouring of sweat. It leaves you with anxiety and stress. So talk to a doctor or seek your doctor when that happens. And then when you suddenly begin to sweat more than usual, sweat is good because it's a way of cooling our body temperature. When our body temperature becomes so high, our nervous system triggers the our sweat glands, and then we sweat to cool ourselves down. But when it's too much, it becomes more than necessary or more than normal. You have to go and seek a doctor. And then if you experience night sweat for no apparent reason, for instance, if you are a woman and you haven't reached the age of menopause and you just begin to experience night sweats, you have to talk to a doctor. There could be an underlying condition that is causing that. So stress is your body's mechanism to cool itself. When your nervous system automatically triggers your sweat glands when your body temperature rises. So your nervous system automatically triggers your sweat glands when your body's temperature becomes too high. It's a way of cooling you down. So sweating also normally occurs, especially in your palms when you are nervous. When you are nervous, you sweat. Not everybody, but some people sweat in their palms when they are nervous. So the hyperhidrosis, we have two forms. We have the primary and the secondary. The primary focal hyperhidrosis, this type, the nerves responsible for signaling your sweat glands become overactive. So you sweat more than necessary. When it hasn't been triggered, you sweat without any physical activity or rise in temperature. That is the primary or the focal hyperhidrosis. The secondary hyperhidrosis occurs when excess sweating is due to a medical condition. It's the less common. The sweat that is caused by a medical condition, it's less common. It's more likely to cause sweating all over your body. When you sweat all over your body excessively, that could be there could be an underlying medical condition that is causing that, and that is not too common. The conditions, some of the medical conditions that might cause heavy sweating include diabetes. I'm saying all this, I'm just mentioning them so you can pay attention to it and realize if you are having these symptoms. Diabetes can cause that excessive sweating, menopause or hot flashes, thyroid problems, low blood sugar, some type of cancer. It's known to cause that as well. Heart attack. When people are going through heart attack, they sweat. We call it in the medical term, diaphoresis. You can see their bodies very sweaty when you touch it. Diaphoresis, that's what we call it. Nervous system disorders can cause that too. And then infections. Certain medications can also lead to heavy sweating, such as opioid withdrawal. Certain medication can lead to excessive sweating, and then opioid withdrawal too. Opioid is for pain, so opioid withdrawal can also, people who are going through withdrawal syndrome, they can also sweat. And then complications of excessive sweating. One of the complications is infection. People who sweat profusely are more prone to skin infections. When you sweat profusely and care is not taken, especially when this happens in a bedridden patient, the skin can easily break. When you sweat too much, it can cause skin breakout. And when your skin break out, it's exposed to any type of infection. Bacterial can enter through it. The skin, the layer is a protective layer of the skin that protects any foreign body from invading our skin. So if you sweat excessively and your skin break, you are prone to infection. Your chances of having infection becomes very great. Social and emotional effects too. That's one of the complications, the other complications. So having clammy or dripping hands, like your hands is sweating, and perspiration soaked clothes. When your clothes is very soaked from sweating, it can be very embarrassing. So your condition may affect your pursuit of work and educational goals. It might put you in a withdrawal state, or withdrawal, like not emotional withdrawal. You can withdraw yourself or isolate yourself because of the embarrassment you feel from the sweating. So it's very important to seek help if you experience this condition. I said my video is not going to be long today because I have a very tight schedule I need to attend after this. So before I go, let's do some affirmation and encourage each other. Tell yourself, I know I am worth all the effort I pour into myself. Each hard day I get through shows me my strength. Each hard day I get through shows me my strength. I am grateful for opportunities to grow, regardless of what they look like. I know that one day I will look back and be proud that I didn't quit. I know that one day I will look back and be proud that I didn't quit. I will take care of myself first. I will take care of myself first. That will give me the strength that I need to help others. You can help others if you haven't taken care of yourself first. I am blessed to wake up every morning. We are blessed to wake up every morning. We are thankful for the gift of life. I am the only one who can control my life. Your life depends in your hands. You are the only one who can control your life. I only allow what serves my highest good into the next phase of my life. I only allow what serves my highest good into the next phase of my life. Everything I need is already within me. Everything I need is already within me. I am grateful for friends who have stayed by my side over the years. I maintain a positive mindset during the day. I am a loving person who deserves to be loved fully. I am a loving person who deserves to be loved fully. I give permission to my inner goddess to work her magic. If you are a man, you can use his magic. I am my ancestors' dreams come true. And the last but not the least, I am in charge of my happiness. You are in charge of your happiness. Nobody can make you happy but yourself. Let me leave you here. Remember, the page name is Angie Talks on Facebook and Angie Talks 1 TV on YouTube. I am your 21st century virtualness. Call me 21st century virtualness and let me quickly respond or calmly respond. Hello, how are you doing? Bye for now.